V.
Welcome to your Region This Week. I'm Anandi Carroll Woolery. In this episode, I'll look at Waterloo Region's only women's homeless shelter, the role that Family and Children's Services Foundation plays in our community, and immersive technology is back as Control V celebrates a grand opening. But first, here's a look at the headlines with Carla Fitzsimmons.
Thanks, Anandi. CUPE Local 1656 is officially on strike as of Monday morning after failing to reach an agreement with the region of Waterloo. The union represents around 150 regional outside workers. The two sides have been at the bargaining table since February 10th, but talks have stalled. The strike won't disrupt all services. According to the local union, curbside garbage collection, road maintenance, and water services will all continue as usual. The region of Waterloo waste management centers in Cambridge and Waterloo will be closed to all residential and commercial customers. The Brantford Police Service has appointed Jason Saunders as Chief of Police for the Brantford Police Service. Chief Saunders brings over 2 decades of dedicated service and leadership experience to this role, having started his policing career as a constable with the Brantford Police Service in 2000. Still in Brantford, the city is advising residents that there's an elevated risk of flooding in the upcoming weeks due to an above-average snowpack and potential ice jam formation in the Grand River watershed. The Grand River Conservation Authority has issued a flood outlook statement indicating rapid snow melt combined with rainfall could lead to significant runoff and flooding. February was a snowy month, according to E.D. Soulis Memorial Weather Station at the University of Waterloo. Its monthly weather recap says nearly 78 centimeters of snow fell over the last 4 weeks in Waterloo region. That's more than double the average amount of snow in the region typically that we see in February. And now to a spotlight on Family and Children's Services Foundation. It was created to support local children, youth, and families to heal, learn, and grow.
So Family and Children's Services is the mandated child welfare agency in the province. There's only one in every community, and so Family and Children's Services plays that role. Their role is to really protect children from harm and also to promote the well-being of children and families in the region. Family and Children's Services Foundation is a separate organization. We originally started in 1991 to support the agency and its programs and services that weren't funded by government. And over the last 10 years, we've really evolved to focus on prevention, upstream help, really focused on the root causes of child abuse and neglect and what the community can do in order to support children, youth, and families from needing the services of Family and Children's Services. So, if a family is struggling in the community, people can actually make a direct call to the agency for help if they think that they are eligible for those services, or oftentimes we get calls, about 5,000 calls a year actually, from community members who are concerned about the safety or well-being of a child. I would say a vast majority of those calls that go to the agency are not related to necessarily urgent protection of a child that is being abused or neglected, but that the family itself is struggling with a lot of things that are really about social inequity. So they're living in poverty, they don't have access to resources, maybe they don't have enough money to make ends meet, they're precariously housed or at risk of homelessness, and all of those sort of societal issues can end up meaning that families need services from Family and Children's Services that are really not because of the fault of a parent, they're really a failing in our society.
Coming up, YWCA Cambridge is on a mission to address homelessness.
This shelter will be a little different in that it will operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There will be built-in services here, so mental health and addiction counseling, housing supports.
Hey, we're Chris and Kim. We are the hosts of What's Buzzin' right here on Rogers TV. We are that show that chats all things trending, interviewing local guests, and we embarrass ourselves a little bit too. That happens.
Yeah, honestly, we're that talk show you definitely want to check out. We're super fun. We have on local guests and things that you want to check out in the community, you can check out on What's Buzzin'.
Yeah, it starts here.
Starts
We're gonna have
here.
a lot of fun. And that happens on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. on Rogers TV.
We invite you to play What's My Line?
Welcome, Mrs. Baker. Those folks over there need to guess your extraordinary occupation.
Are you an entertainer, Mrs. Baker?
Yes.
Do people come to watch you perform?
Yes.
Do you travel for work?
Yes, I do.
Do you ever wear a special type of costume?
Yes.
Is your job physical?
Yes, indeed.
Are you a member of a team?
Yes.
Are you a professional baseball player?
Yes, I am.
Created during the Second World War, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League included 68 Canadians. One of its brightest stars was my mother, Saskatchewan's Mary Bonnie Baker, a pioneer for women in sports.
The regulars, the guys who keep this place in business. Last week, they had something to celebrate. Jason had just finished university, so they toasted his profs, his TAs, his old roommates. Well, they toasted just about everyone. But I worry about and take care of my guys. So even when I know they're not driving, sometimes that means bringing them a little surprise. And then they had a drink to me.
Brought to you by Smart Serve Ontario and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober.
YWCA Cambridge Emergency Homeless Shelter opened its doors earlier this week. It's a partnership between the local charity and Grace Bible Church.
This has been about 2 years in the making. When we decided that we wanted to do something for unhoused women in the community, we wanted to fully understand the scope of the issue, and so did some research ahead of time to take a look at that. We found that about 74% of the women experiencing homelessness in our community also experience gender-based violence on a weekly basis, so there was no safe place for them to go. And so we started the journey to open a space, and the region provided some operating funding for us in December of last year, and then we spent a significant amount of time trying to find a piece of land or a building to renovate. And in the meantime, Grace Bible Church came forward and said, we have a space in the basement if you'd like to, use this as a temporary space. And so for the last 3 or 4 months, we've been renovating. And so today is our open house, and we'll start to move women in on Monday. We know that 20 beds is not going to solve the problem, but we also know through the research that we did, especially with the Women's Housing and Homelessness Network, that for the best possible results, smaller shelters with built-in support. So this shelter will be a little different in that it will operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There will be built-in services here, so mental health and addiction counseling, housing supports. We have a partnership with Langs, so there'll be on-site medical care 1 day a week for the women who are here as well. So they get to stay with us. I hope that this becomes their temporary home as we help them to move on to permanent housing. This has been such a passion project for our whole team. I'm really proud of the work that they did. But the other thing I think people need to understand is that this is just the most perfect example of what can happen when a community comes together. And this community has rallied around this project, and we have been overwhelmed by the support that we've been given to bring this project to fruition. So we will now refocus and start to look for either land or building for a permanent shelter here in Cambridge. We really tried to dig deep into what issues are impacting women and girls and gender diverse folks in our community and try to meet those needs. And housing was just one of those things. And the YWCA nationally is the largest provider of housing and homelessness supports to women across Canada. So we have had tons of support from our colleagues across the country to get this shelter up and operating. I think just a huge debt of gratitude to all of them for the kinds of support that they've given us for this project. We couldn't have done it without their support, and we are incredibly grateful. So thank you to all of them.
We had someone approached us and asked if maybe this space could be used for a women's shelter, and we began conversation. We were excited about the opportunity to be in the community because we've only been at the church, this particular church, for 5 years. So it's important to us to be a church, gospel church, but also to be in the community. And when this came up, we were very interested in the discussion. There were some hurdles that we had to work through, just in terms of insurance and things like that, but that all worked out, and they started construction. From our perspective, we're thankful for the work that YW does with just how they serve the community, how they serve women in particular, and so we just want to be a support to them. We want to be an encouragement to them. We want to be good hosts, but we also understand that the primary work is with the YW, so how can we support and encourage them? As a church, we want to pray, but we also want to maybe navigate ways in which some of our women can be an encouragement to women here. Respect, obviously, the work that's going on here and the care that's being taken, or the care that's being done. But I just think it's unique that a church and an organization like the YW can partner together to be able to serve, obviously, a significant, to understate it, a significant need in the community. I would say to other churches, first of all, it's invigorated our congregation. We are just excited about the opportunity. We are excited to provide space within the community because we know space is a premium these days. And then I would encourage churches that have buildings to consider creative ways in which they might donate a portion of their building to the community and use that to say there's opportunities to work together, even though we may have our differences. But I think that's what community is. We have our differences, but we work together. And as we've learned, especially in a downtown space, real estate is everything. So we're just thankful to be able to take a portion of our building and have it used for the community. There are challenges, and from a church's perspective, historically, churches have been a voice in those challenges, and I think in recent years, the churches have stepped back, and this gives us an opportunity to say that churches don't want to huddle in the corner, but they want to be part of the community, and say there are significant needs, and is there just a small portion that we can do? And then if other churches or other organizations each do their small portion, it becomes a bigger advantage for the community. And we to serve the community is just an incredible privilege. I want to just thank Kim and her team. They've done a tremendous amount of work. They've overcome significant obstacles to be here. And just the respect that I have for the YW, Kim, and what they're doing here. And it's ultimately not our story today, it's YW's story, so we want to honor that, and we want to be able to just encourage them, because this took a lot to get to its place.
Clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
Have you ever thought about just how much politics you speak about just in your own kitchen or in your living room? Or how many important ideas are shared or solutions to some of the world's biggest problems? Well, you're in luck, because I'm inviting some of my friends to come and speak to me about everyday politics, and I'm bringing my living room to you. So join me on Wednesday evenings from 6 until 7 for Everyday Politics with Laura May Lindo.
Hey, what's up? We're Chris and Cam, host of What's Buzzin', right here on Rogers TV.
We talk about local trends, we interview local guests, and we overall just have a lot of fun.
8 p.m. Wednesday nights on Rogers TV.
Stay tuned.
Best you.
In sports, highlights from the Rockets and Warriors game at the Allman Arena in Stratford.
Welcome inside the historic William Allman Memorial Arena for a crucial game in the Western Conference between the Strathroy Rockets and the Stratford Warriors. 2025 has not been an ideal start for the Rockets, currently sitting on the outside looking in and have yet to find a win on the road. However, it's not all doom and gloom in Strathroy. In the team's last 3 games, Lucas Laprise has found 6 points, including back-to-back games with a pair of goals, while the team has earned 5 out of a possible 6 points. For the Warriors tonight, Cole Lewis has caught fire with 7 points in his last 4 games. Lewis, a goal and a couple assists against Kamoka on Saturday in a 9-0 road victory over the Kings. Stratford has dominated teams in this building. In the team's last 5 home games, the Warriors are a perfect 5-0 and have outscored their opponents 19-3. Before tonight's game, the Stratford Warriors are recognizing their 2024 and 2025 billet families for their tremendous support. Without their commitment to the program, this season would have not been possible. Puck Drop is coming up next on 519 Sports. And out they come on the left wing side. Quickly back, here's Long. Long, cross ice, what a stop, able to get it with the right leg. A great stop from Hayden Duncan, an early test as he joins the Rockets. Warriors now back the other way, into the high slot, good stop, bouncing follow-up attempt, and it goes wide. Great chance for Cole Lewis on the doorstep. Rockets able to find the loose biscuit as they push it in front of their own bench. 2-on-1 now, numbers for the Rockets, but a great defensive play. Right out front, trying to just poke it in, and finally the whistle blows. Still no signal as a mad scrum ensues right in front of McDougall. But it's Luko Janov right in front, just trying to push it home, but no goal going to be the call. Quickly ran out of real estate. Campbell there with it now. Campbell back down low. High slot the shot. Great stop. Is a good challenge and a great stop from the Strathroy netminder. Up at the far circle. Takes the shot, but that one goes wide. Stuckey can't reach, and now it springs a breakaway back the other way. Here's Schmidt. Schmidt on goal, trying to go 5-hole, but it's met by Duncan. As they battle for it here in the near wall, Green slides that one across. Quickly bouncing puck to the near side. Scores! On the power play, Caden Long, his 12th game in a Stratford Warrior uniform, will make it 1-0 Stratford. Here's Petrie. Petrie through the legs, the defenseman scores! Oh my, what a goal! Carter Petrie, absolutely filthy. 2-0 Warriors. Just pushed even further behind the goal by Cole Lewis and kept in at the line. Good active jump. The shot, kicked out, high slot, scores! On the power play, they do it again. Binder does it this time, his 11th of the season. And the Warriors running away with it in the second, it's 3-0. Battle out front as Payas puts his stick into the back of a Warrior player. Now the Rockets Backhand pass near side. Hirsch, nice peed. Springs Laprie on goal and a great stop as he's met by the netminder McDougall. Nice touch pass. Here comes Brown. Brown in. Lewis going to the goal. Follow-up attempt. Scores! Binder again. A big, juicy rebound. And his second straight makes it 4-0 Warriors. Lead pass, that one behind Marshall. He'll settle it down. Look out as Marshall stands up his man. A big check from Marshall. Skirton tries to slam on the brakes. Good chance. Dennis in the slot. Great stop, McDougall, as he flashes the leather late in this third period. The Stratford Warriors victorious on home ice. It's a 4-0 final. Binder a pair of goals. And if you're a KW Siskin fan, you can sigh a big breath as the KW Siskins will hold on to that 8th spot after tonight. The Rockets blanked 4-0 the final score. And for McDougall, it's a shutout tonight for his 19th win of the season. A 4-0 final tonight here at the William Allman.
For more local sports stories, check out 519 Sports Online. Darren Stevenson and his team work to bring our community stories about local athletes. Visit 519sportsonline.ca.
Still ahead, escape reality with the click of a button.
You called us in, meaning you suspect foul play.
We have nothing to hide.
How do we know that this sex scandal is real?
It was completely consensual.
Do you remember all of your cases, Detective Braff?
Only the ones that keep me up at night.
This is fraud on a massive scale.
I didn't do anything.
Sit down.
You'll need a good lawyer to prove it.
Well, we have one, and he's excited to meet you.
You might have yourself a murder case.
It's closing time, and you stayed out longer than you planned. So now you can't drive, and the buses have stopped running. You could always call your girlfriend. Or maybe your roommate? What about your best friend? You could just dial 1-888-TAXI-GUY or use the Taxi Guy app. The call and the app are free, and they both connect you to a local cab company to bring you home safely. Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.
Sports is life. It's clear cut. Everything's out in the open. There's nowhere to hide. I had to prove myself more than anyone else.
You must be so proud of your son. He's gonna go pro. The sky's the limit.
There's always a winner and a loser.
You cannot reach the sky in broken cleats.
Of course, I always want to be the winner. And I did reach the sky.
Norman Quam, the first Chinese-Canadian professional football player, still holds records to this day. He retired from the sport in 1960 and later became Lieutenant Governor of Alberta.
And finally for us, it's a return to reality. Virtual reality, that is. Control V is the world's first virtual reality arcade and returns to Waterloo Region. Our cameras visited the Cambridge location on opening night.
We've been around for 9 years. We're the first of this type of business in the world, originating from Waterloo, and now we've come to Cambridge to, bring it back. We were here pre-pandemic, but of course there was some casualties of the lockdowns, and so when the pandemic locked us down, they locked us down 100%. Zero revenue, but we had to keep paying expenses like rent, for example, at least until the rent subsidies came in. So rather than going into the corner and crying about it and saying, woe is me, we decided to buckle down and make the comeback greater than the setback. The nature of time always implies that you're going to be growing. At least you should, because if you're not, you're dying. So over the course of the pandemic, we revamped a lot of our operational procedures. We added some more content. We made it so the experience is way more welcoming and inclusive for every type of customer. I mean, a lot of people think that this is for the cliche say 18 to 25-year-old male gamer, but we literally have all types of people. We've got senior citizens coming in. We had our second marriage proposal last August in VR. We do corporate events. We're also huge with the autism community. I won't say that I know anything about the psychology behind it, but people with autism love virtual reality. If there's anyone that's looking to come to the Cambridge location, located at 800 Franklin Boulevard, what you want to do is you want to book online, because we do get busy. So go to www.controlv.ca and book for the Cambridge location. You'll be asked to fill out a waiver because some of this stuff can get intense, and then you'll come in and you'll enjoy some wonderful, wonderful VR. We make it so that everyone's comfortable. There's no need to be worried or afraid about anything. We've got over 200 pieces of content, so if you want to shoot zombies, we've got that, but if you want to swim with whales or hang out with gorillas or do some escape rooms, you'll find all of that in virtual reality at Control V as well. My favorite part is honestly seeing the reactions of people when they come out. I think the cliche answer would be it's the games, but really the reactions when people come out and they say, wow, that is incredible. I've never seen anything like that. I've never felt that. I need to do this again. I need to bring my friends. 5-star reviews across the board. I probably say one of my favorite games is this one called Pistol Whip. It's a rail shooter, and you got bad guys shooting at you. You got to shoot back at them. You got to dodge their bullets, and then of course it goes to music too, so you get a little dancing in there. But outside of that, I mean, we have such a large variety of games, right? The escape rooms here are incredible. Like a team of 4 have to make it up through, the air vents and the elevators to the top of a 5-story building to disarm a nuclear warhead, or you got to survive on a deserted island. We've got swimming with whales, hanging out with gorillas, going to see the dinosaurs. It's incredible. My involvement with Control V is actually a long story, but I'm the founder and CEO. So way back in the day with some friends, we had another company working out of Hollywood in Silicon Valley that also developed technology, I should say, for optics to allow you to experience film in a different way. And after a number of iterations, moving from film to gaming, it was evident that virtual reality was now consumer ready. So what we did is we decided to pivot into VR and start a VR arcade. Now, we were the first in the world, so nobody wanted to loan us money, nobody believed we could do this, but we just hammered down, exercised one of our core values of grit and moxie, and made it happen. We work with game developers around the world, literally almost every country, and they design them and they reach out to us, and we're very fortunate to have them reach out to us because we were the first in the world to do this. So we've built a reputation. We've been around for 9 years, and they go through a 26-step vetting process to ensure, that you don't get motion sick, that there's replayability, that it matches every type of genre, and then we roll them out here. Right now, we've got about 200, and we add probably a new game every month or so. I think one of the biggest things that I love the public to know is when you come into Control V, you will love it. You'll have an incredible experience. You'll adore VR. You'll adore the customer experience.
That's our show for this edition of Your Region This Week. Thanks for watching. I'm Anandi Carroll Woolery. See you next time.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Food Network is now in free preview.
You're welcome.
Watch all new seasons of your favorite chefs, culinary competitions,
You win, you're in.
and bake-offs. Food Network just tastes better. And it's in free preview right now.
Welcome home.
HGTV is now in free preview. The home of possible with all your favorite builders, designers, and big reveals.
Love that.
HGTV, the original and the best. Now in free preview.
When I was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome, I was deteriorating in front of everybody.
All my life I lived with sickle cell. I went through a tragic crisis that put me in a coma for 3 weeks. While I was in there, I received a lot of blood to put me in a healthier state.
I was